Support for Kalamazoo Lively Arts is provided by the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation. Watch Kalamazoo Lively Arts every Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Last week you learned about Speak It Forward. Now let's learn more about the artists behind the organization. Next up, Kinetic Affect.
Kinetic Affect is the two of us. It is essentially like our performing name that we go by, and we are a spoken word duo. And when we say spoken word, we mean we come from spoken word poetry as an art form, and we've learned to take that art form and turn it into an entertaining vehicle that involves both of our voices weaving in and out while telling important stories about our life experiences.
Well, we met competing to make the same poetry slam national team. So we come from a genre called poetry slam, which is a competitive form of spoken word poetry. They have national competitions for it. We met competing to make the same national team. We both made that team, and we ended up going to nationals to compete together for Kalamazoo.
I really don't know. The best way I can describe my childhood and me in general is perfection. No? Okay. Well, the reality of it is that when I was younger, grew up in Detroit, we were poor. I was overweight and I was sensitive, and when you're poor, sensitive, and overweight, that's a triple whammy with kids in a grade school. So I got ripped apart on a daily basis. And not only that, I would be going home to a lot of violence, where I was experiencing a lot of abuse as a child. And so this led me down a pretty dark path, and I started realizing something when I hit junior high, that no one can talk crap to you when they're unconscious. So I started fighting back. And it really did work for a while. It pushed everyone away from me. I changed my image, changed my look, and I started to feel more accepted, even though I was more isolated than ever. And like Gabriel, I started selling drugs. This led me down a really dark path. When my senior year of high school, we became known as Suicide High by national news because 9 students in that school took their life that year. 5 of them were my friends, and this occurred within a period of only 3 months. And I remember they did autopsies and the bodies found one commonality. It was that all of them were high at the time they took their lives. And I was the one that was encouraging this. I was the one that had, I felt in many ways, pushed them down a path that ended their lives far too early. And so I made a decision right there and then really to change my life. And that's when I actually went to college, and I became a very successful college student, but only because of all the difficulties of my past did I know how badly I wanted a better future for myself. Except that the only thing I couldn't do was yet embrace that old part of me. I thought it was so horrible, so ugly, that I tried to bury it, tried to hide it away, but as you know, those things that you bury in there all eventually come to light at some point.
But he redirected that towards his students. I mean, he was a phenomenal teacher, without a doubt.
And I would tell my students, go write a poem about your life experiences and then go to this open mic and share your voice, and they would all do it. I mean, they were super motivated by me. And then one day I had a student who was actually dying of cancer at the time, you know, pull me out on the chopping block in the middle of class. He said, you know, hey, Mr. Latimer, he says, you tell us to do this, but do you do it? He caught me, because the reality is that I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. And so then I wrote a poem in honor of him and performed it. And actually that was a poem that landed me into the position to be in the semifinal round, where I ended up meeting Gabriel.
We were focused on representing Kalamazoo as a team unit at nationals. So I took the best piece, and when I say best piece, I mean the piece that I was most likely to get a high score on, and I offered it up to Kirk for us to perform it together because our dynamics are very different. Kirk is very loud and boisterous and brings this really high level of energy that's very difficult to match by other people. And I tend to be a little bit more introverted, a little bit more welcoming in the way that I present my style. So combined, it's this amazing kind of balance. And we performed the piece together and did extremely well at nationals, but it eliminated our ability to be recognized as individuals so that we could receive individual accolades. But we were okay with that for some reason. We found that what happened when we joined our voices and our styles and our values together was much stronger at connecting than competing, which is why we left slam poetry just after a year. We wanted to focus our art form at finding ways to connect people with it rather than beat people with it.
I have not forgotten our original meaning, and our state has a warrior's name worth remembering. It comes from the Ojibwe, Michigama, meaning great water. And we believe that our ancestors knew something we've forgotten, a belief. That you never give up on an underdog. That family comes first. And that home is where the heart is. We believe that we will never forget who we are. We believe that we will never forget what we're made of. And most importantly, we believe that we will never forget that Michigan deserves to be believed in.
So Shelley, one of the things that makes our work so dynamic is the fact that we are able to move in and out of sentences as individuals and then together. So today, I'm going to teach you how to perform the last few lines of our viral poem, the Michigan poem, with Kirk.
Okay.
So essentially, you're going to say this line, he's going to say that, and then you're going to say this together. So we're just going to go through it real quick, rough, with no practice.
I'm
and just
starting
see
right
how it
here?
goes. Yep. So you'll go, we believe, and then he'll follow.
We
and then you guys will
believe,
say
and then
this.
we're going to say it together.
Together. All right,
Yeah.
I can look at my cheat sheet.
Yes, you
All
can.
right, right,
Go.
before, we believe.
We believe.
We believe that we will never forget that Michigan deserves to be believed in.
Okay.
Oh,
so
my.
you can see how that can be a little bit difficult, right? Because
Yes.
if you're off, the audience is going to notice
Right,
that.
they'd walk
So this is what I'm
out.
going to do. I'm going to have Kirk deliver
Okay,
the line.
okay.
The last part
Okay.
right here.
Here it is.
We believe that we will never forget that Michigan deserves to be believed in.
Give it to her one more time.
We believe that we will never forget that Michigan deserves to be believed
Now
in.
you try it.
We believe that we will never forget that Michigan deserves to be believed in.
Much better. Now
Michigan deserves to be believed in. So Michigan deserves to be believed in.
Michigan deserves to be believed in.
Now we're gonna
How'd
try
I
it
do?
again. So
How'd I
take
do?
it
Can I
from
take
here.
your job?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We're going to see. Try it from there.
We believe.
We believe
that
we will never forget that Michigan deserves to be believed in.
See how much better that
You're a
was?
good teacher.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you have to really learn
Okay.
to listen to the other person and then try and match their tone. If we had more time, I would get you to match his tone so that it sounds
Yeah,
like
you have to
one
pitch.
voice.
Yes.
So when we do it, we believe.
We believe that we will never forget that Michigan deserves to be believed in.
As it does.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Whoa.
Shelley, how did your perspective change after hearing their story?
Yep, what a story both had. First of all, I'm going into this learning about poetry. What is this spoken word? So what is my stereotype of a poet? It certainly was dispelled when I had the opportunity to work both with Gabe and Kirk. Their backgrounds, obviously from different lives, but look at what they come up with when they actually perform.
And you actually had the opportunity to perform with them. What was that experience like?
It was a great experience. Here are two gentlemen who have this passion, who have overcome both of their challenges and yet are willing to work with the community, with a person like me, to share their talents. And it's all about rhythm and timing in the spoken word. Plus, it's a message. It's a message about whether it's about Michigan or changing your life. And so it was an opportunity to see what they have done. And I think they challenge us to be the best we can be.
Thank you for showing us that great form of artistic expression in Kalamazoo.
Watch Kalamazoo Lively Arts every Tuesday at 6 p.m.